Everyone knows customers dread the trade-in, and salespeople hate it too. But many dealers use trade-ins as a lead generator, advertising gimmicky offers, or they use the do-it-from-your-couch estimators like Kelley Blue Book or TrueCar to hook customers with a price range that doesn't make sense. But when customers get to the dealership, that estimate goes out the window. Grade Your Trade will revolutionize your trade-in process, helping you to boost your CSI, increase your profits, and grow your sales. And if that wasn't enough, this game-changing system can also boost your sales in 2 other areas of your dealership. To learn more about Grade Your Trade, give us a call or email us and schedule a time to meet with your Grade Your Trade representative today.
Hey, welcome to the show. I'm Lee Wolf with White Dove Bird, and I'm sitting here as usual with Mr. Richie Bello. And today we have a special guest with us, John Grillo of Grade Your Trade. How you guys doing?
How are you?
Hi, Lee.
Thanks
How
for
are
having
you
me.
today?
Good.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a pleasure having you. And it's been a pleasure getting to know you before the show. So today we're going to be talking about a very special product technology that's going to be that we feel empowers the customer much more than ever. So we went, obviously, I think everyone is very aware, we probably don't have to say it, but we went through a pandemic. There were a lot of customers banging on the doors of the dealerships, and we didn't have vehicles. And that was a big problem. And now we're well out of the pandemic now for, I guess, about a good year. And we've got plenty of inventory, but now we're talking about how the customer's mindset has changed from the pandemic, and we want to lure these people back in. And a lot of them have become private sellers. So, Richie, starting with you, these private sellers that we want to attract, how are we going to find them exactly?
Okay, I'm glad you brought that up. Let's first talk about the whole COVID thing. What was going on with COVID? Dealers were buying private sellers, right? That was one of our product lines. Dealers were buying private sellers. They didn't have the inventory, and that's what happened. Now, why this is important now is because dealers are continuing to buy private sellers, because going to the auctions, paying the buyer, doing all this, doing that pack, max, smack, you're talking before that vehicle's home, you're talking about $1,200, $1,300, okay? All right, now you're buying it from consumers, which is much better than auction, because there's a story when you sell. This is one of my service customers. He serviced a car here, blah, blah, blah. Okay, right. So it adds value to your dealership, right? So now what's happening is now consumers are in demand, right? Before it was vehicles were in demand. That's changed, supply and demand. Now the supply and demand that there is consumers, okay? That's a supply. The inventory is growing. But not only is it growing, the average days are getting older and older, and we know because we're basically shop smart and we got all the feeds, right? So that's how we know the data is talking by itself. So the product line, there's a lot of people out there that have this product, not for trades, DMS marketing. So they do service, they do sales, they do everything. What's good about this company that Grillo has is that specifically niche is trading. So when you call him, he's only going to bring in those customers. All right. So let's first establish, not that people don't know him, everybody knows John Grillo, but let's talk about John Grillo. He was one of the first guys, the first adapter that started with DMS marketing in Jersey. Okay. He had a lot of stores. Those stores with the virtual BDC and the DMS marketing blew up. I knew because I was part of that, and I saw the whole thing blow up. So he knows that DMS marketing way before you had Auto Alert and all these people, right? He had it in Vegas. He had it everywhere in the country, right? And we had a great time. So now he's doing the same thing, his blueprint, only focusing on trades, right? And getting customer to come back with DMS marketing. And it's pretty simple with our data that we have, which I'm going to show you now. It's very simple to reach out to these customers, and you're going to increase your retention, right, from your customers. They're trading in a car. Somebody trades in a car. They're not going to walk home, right? They're not going to take the bus. They're going to need a replacement car, right? Or maybe they don't. Who cares? But you're getting into trade. So you're touching that customer, okay? And how do we know that? I want to show you something, all right? 1 second. Here we go. It's a real simple thing, how we know that. Let's go over that. So here's a report. Do you guys see the report?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So here's a dealership. He's retaining 27%, losing that. But the biggest thing is, let's find out his competitors are doing business, right? The dealers, right? And for sale by owner, here it is, right? So they're selling this car on cars.com in the private sector, the private seller by owners, Craigslist, this one, that one. So these cars are there. So, you're talking about 2.7, so you're talking about a big numbers here. Okay. So that's what Mr. John Grillo is going to stop. And I can go on to different reports. Here's the Honda store. He is, I can go on and on to different stores. It's no problem, So it's a very important thing that Mr. Grillo has, right? So that being said, I'm going to put this video on for Grillo, and I think we're going to let him come up with his product. 1 minute.
Everyone knows customers dread the trade-in, and salespeople hate it too. But many dealers use trade-ins as a lead generator, advertising gimmicky offers, or they use the do-it-from-your-couch estimators like Kelley Blue Book or TrueCar to hook customers with a price range that doesn't make sense. But when customers get to the dealership, that estimate goes out the window. Grade Your Trade will revolutionize your trade-in process, helping you to boost your CSI, increase your profits, and grow your sales. And if that wasn't enough, this game-changing system can also boost your sales in 2 other areas of your dealership. To learn more about Grade Your Trade, give us a call or email us and schedule a time to meet with your Grade Your Trade representative today.
So, Lee, back to you. And
yeah, well, I definitely want to hear more from John now about how this product empowers the customer. Sounds like it. I mean, when I was working with Mazda, the walk around was probably the worst part of the experience for the customer. And I'll let John talk a little bit more about that. But it really sounds to me like John is an expert in this field, and I don't use the word expert loosely, because I think it's that they say a person that some people say they're experts, but they know a whole little about a lot of things. And then there's actual experts that know a whole lot about a few things. And John sounds like one of these guys. So why don't you tell us more about the product, John?
Well, the product was a natural thing from talking about the other company that I was doing and going into this. When I own one thing and I'm really good at what I own, that's how I want to do it. I don't want to be all over the map. I don't want to do a lot of things pretty good. I want to do one thing great. That's how you become successful. And when you guys were talking about the pandemic, and believe it or not, people, their fuse got a lot shorter now. So when you involve them in the process, they welcome it, and they're brutally honest about their trades. You wouldn't believe it until you said, "Hey, listen, I'm going to go get the car. It's time management. Salesman's going to get the trade they'd like, the car they'd like to see. While I'm gone, why don't you just fill this out?" And they fill it out. and they're happy to do it. It manages their time. In addition, the reason why it took me some time to get it is it didn't push to V-Auto. I didn't want the used car guy to get more work. Everybody knows when a manager has to do work, they don't want to do it. They want to come in, they want to do what they have to do for the day. And if you add another tool, most of them resist it.
Right.
I was a GM for 20 some odd years, and I know that. Myself included. I resisted change. I didn't like it. But if you give it to the customer and you say, hey, listen, while I'm gone, because they did just go through this pandemic and they'd like to be involved because they are involved. What you're going to find now is that these trades that these people are having, these private buyers, private sellers, Richie's talking about, and you're talking about, you know how much money they put into their car to keep it running because there was no cars? So now not only are you getting a great car that's fixed and serviced for your front line, you got a story. In addition, on that trade, on that video that you just watched, it says that other areas that we improve, we do. We give everybody while they're like the waiters, the people waiting for their cars to be fixed, we give them the link to go and get an idea of what their trade's, worth. And it manages their time. And we get between 7 and 10 cars on an average store per month that we pull out of service without even trying.
Wow.
So that's a big thing. And we have some of our dealer groups now spiffing the writer or the technician for taking the time to offer it to the customer. So if they sell it, it's between $100 to $150 the dealer gives them for every trade that they're involved in swinging into the store. So it's everybody has a little bit of an ownership and wants to be involved.
Right.
One salesman starting to use it, right? Like as soon as you come in, you're going to have 3 guys that are going to grab it real quick and utilize it. And then before you know it, they start selling more cars, getting better trades. Everybody jumps on.
Right.
It happens naturally.
Right. And you also mentioned earlier before the show when we were talking there that it actually kind of puts besides empowering the customer, it makes them a little bit more open and honest about if there are situations with the vehicle, right?
Yeah, I walked out. I was telling Lee the story. It's a quick one. I was going to a dealership to bring the product aboard, and I said, let me do a trade and show you how, I'll take the salesman out with me and I'll do the trade. And I walked out to this trade. It was an elderly woman. I'm telling you, there wasn't a scratch on the car. Couldn't find nothing wrong with this car. I just touched the windshield, and she said, oh, I forgot to tell you, that's the only thing that I had to change the windshield because a big rock from a truck went through it. I would have never known that information if she didn't volunteer it.
Right.
But she devalued it herself because it wasn't original glass.
Wow.
So that I wouldn't have had. I couldn't find nothing wrong with the car. I couldn't. And I really tried. Everything was perfect.
And let me throw something out there that dealers should know. When you're hiring Grillo, right? You're hiring all this data, CSV files, all this data. But not only that, when you're hiring Mr. Grillo, he has another company about used cars that he's been doing it for decades. You're talking about a used car professional, okay? In today's world, not yesterday's world, today's world, because he actively sells used cars with his other company, with Price Auto.
Yeah.
And I want to talk about that. And he's always been doing that, even with his DMS and with all this stuff. He's a expert in used cars, knows what he's doing, right? Knows what he's doing with the data, with that in that field, right? Then that's the field that he only's been involved in, right? So he's really good at what he does. He's got a lot of things. Grillo went to Dealer Academy like myself, so we both know each other from there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we're both professional. I know Grillo a very long time, and he's a really good friend. But apart from being a good friend, people that know me know I don't have any friends that are not in the car business. You know what I mean? So, I don't have that. Guys that I grew up, I don't even know where they are. Half of them are not around anyway. But anyway, Grillo's very good at what he does with this DMS. But not only that, you're hiring a full-blown consultant, all right, a full-blown trainer, okay, in used cars, okay? And what do dealers need today? Used car merchandising, okay, and used car selling. That's what you need today.
Yeah.
Not yesterday. You need that. Not today. You needed that a day ago. Okay.
Absolutely.
There you go. That's what you needed because your inventory is getting old. You're not merchandising the vehicles. It ain't like we have newspaper. We take 10 and put them on classifieds there. You're not doing that. So you got first party data, which is a gold mine. That DMS dealers that you have for guys like Grillo, he'll make you so much more money on the turn of your inventory. Let's face it, Mr. Dealer, the money is made on the buy, not the sale, okay? Because we all know salespeople, they'll start giving stuff away because they feel bad for customers and whatever, okay? And to them, it's too much because they might be in a situation where it's too much. But when you buy cars, right, that's where the money's made. The money's made on the buy, not the sale. In the real estate business, the same way. The money's made in the buy. Sometimes you go through 30 deals and you might buy one. That's where the money is. You can't buy stuff if the price is not right.
You're right.
And that's what Grillo has a whole training module on how to do that. And Grillo, I want you to talk about that other business that you have. You had it for 20 years that I know of.
Yeah.
That one that you have pictures, you have testimonials of customer buying your cars. I'm going to let you speak now.
Yeah, we developed an algorithm that would go back 5 years in sales and 5 years in data in service. And we would develop patterns. Like it would say, all right, Mr. Grillo, for instance, myself, he comes every 3 years and he leases a car. It's been 5 years. He hasn't been here. What's going on with that? Then we had another source of data. It would show Mr. Grillo services his car every 6 to 9 weeks. It's been a year. Where's he been? And we would find out that 90% of the problem why these people left, and I'd find more and more that just kept leaving service, was because they had a bad service writer. And 9 out of 10 times he's not there anymore. So what we do is we invite the customer back for a free oil change, and we reinstill their confidence. Then in service, you're going to have people in service that are coming through your service drive with your competitors' license brackets. Why? They live in your area and they're going to service with you. So why do they got to go once every 3 years and buy from this guy? Is he that much better than you? No. Somebody pissed the guy off and he can't get over it. We got to reinstill his confidence. And that's what I learned in a very short period of time. Treat people the way they want to be treated. They'll be back.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. That's really good. And Grillo is a professional in that field. Listen, he knows the business for a long time. He knows what to do when there's a customer. He knows how to train a salesperson and what to do. He takes in trades all the time. And he's been doing it for a long time and successful. Knows data, was one of the first guys that did DMS marketing way before Auto Alert, Automotive Mastermind. They did way before that, okay? Before virtual BDCs even existed, he would go into the showroom and he would be a virtual BDC, which is a walking virtual BDC. Way before it was even together. I'm talking to you back in 05, 06. When there was no virtual BDCs, right? So
we were them. We were the only one. We had no competition.
Right. So when it comes to DMS marketing and pulling appointments in and all that, he really knows what he's doing. And using this data that we have, cleaning up your DMS, because let's face it, when you send out emails and when you send out SMS, okay, bulk-wise, you're going to hit so many people, and that's it. If you have that data clean of your customers, customers that have been with you 3 years, and the last time they was in service was XYZ, and the VIN retention report shows you that VIN number did not get traded in at CarMax,
right?
Okay? At CarMax, then we got a whole thing, okay? and and talking about CarMax. I'm going to be on the road Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. I'm going to go to CarMax Grillo because CarMax moved into Long Island.
Yeah.
And I'm inviting them to have an event at the Beach Club.
Oh,
and
good.
bringing the local dealers to all get together because they got an auction. So I want to take you there, okay?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Anyway, but that being said, I got to do that Wednesday. So we plan on go to market with this product, and we plan on giving dealers our VIN retention. Listen, there's a lot of dealers that are using what they're using of ShopSmart. It's not leads. It's none of that. What it is the data. That's what they're using, And I won't even sell a dealer a lead because they don't know how to nurture it, and they think on email, from the internet with all the customers' information is a deal.
Yeah. Well, and
Not
one other
even
thing, Richie, I don't certainly want to interrupt you. I just want to add something on my mind I wanted to talk about real quick. And when you got all those waiters in service, right? And they're going on your site, they're going on shops on my site, Crazy Trade. Once they put the data in, they give you permission. It's in your V Auto. You have a virtual used car department that doesn't even exist. You get a customer that wants a specific car that one of your customers own. You call that customer and say, listen, I know the book value is 16, but I'll give you 17. Right. You think you might want to get out of it, and I'll give you a great deal on a new car. For that extra 1,000, you're different.
Right. Correct.
Absolutely.
And you already have it sold, so it's not costing you nothing. You got somebody committed for a number. You give them an extra 1,000, you make a little less in your pocket, but you just earned another car that you sold, and you sold them a new car.
Oh, pretty awesome. Sounds like a really exciting product. I'm very excited. Actually, I want to get my hands on it myself and give it a test. Yeah. So it's great. Yeah. Grade your trade, Richie. If you don't have anything else to add at the moment, I think we're pretty much wrapped up.
I just want to say something. My wellness video is coming up, but I just want to tell you guys, I reversed diabetes. It's going to be like 8 months now. I still have this thing to monitor it. There it is, 106. You can't see it. Huh?
Perfect.
Yeah, it's blurry right now. But
so the new video is coming out. I got a few people that have asked me for the upgrading. I'm going to a professional place to take pictures because, I don't really take pictures of myself. I'm not into that. Like, hey, look at me now. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not a big picture guy. I never was, and I'm not into that. And I still don't do it. Unless somebody takes it. So there's gonna be a video. A few people that are important to me asked me, Richie, when is the next video?
Right.
When are you doing the next video? We need to see that, there's a reason why I had to change my ways, and that'll be for a later date. There'll be an announcement with a press release and all that. But that was part of the deal why I had to change and lose this massive amount of weight. And it's a challenge every day. Trust me. Every day.
You look fantastic. You look fantastic.
Every day is a new day, and it's very, very hard. Every day is a new day because I go by, I get the same feelings that people do, but I know I can. I got the discipline,
And you always had discipline. One thing you were very good at, Richie, my whole growing up, he said, I know him 20 years, I know him 30 years. But Richie and me coming up, I'm going to tell you one thing. If Richie said he was going to do something, it got done. There's no way in the world he's not finishing.
Yeah.
I don't care what he does. If he's going to do it, he's going to do it to the extreme. He's going to become the best at it. And that's why he was always kicking everybody's ass on the floor.
That has to do not because of me. That has to do with I'm an addictive guy, and everybody knows that I used to drink like a fish with Grillo. We used to party together.
Oh, heck yeah.
And you know what? I haven't had a drink now in 6 years, and it shows. You know what I mean? But that's what it has to do with. It's not that I tell you something. I master everything because I'm an alcoholic. I don't know when to stop. I know.
I'm the same way.
That's what happens to everybody. That's that. And dealers and business people, you want to hire ex-addicts. Okay.
Yeah, they're going to be great.
When it comes to selling and when it comes to putting somebody together, we had to do that.
Yeah.
Right. In some shape or form to drink. All right.
You're right.
To put the dealer together. We had to put the general manager together. We had to put people together so they wouldn't miss us. And meanwhile, we're getting hammered. But we've changed our style and our ways, and we took that addiction to a different level.
Yeah. Last but not least, guys, I want to thank you guys for having me. Last thing I want to say is I used to go to dealerships to sell my products. Richie will tell you, I would get thrown out of 20. I just keep coming back. Those stores that threw me out are going to see me until they buy my product.
Yeah.
But it wasn't working on some stores. So I opened up the #1 recruiting company in the automotive industry. And that's how I get back in. A guy throws me out and say, hey, listen, you never know. You might need a job one day. You might have to call me. I don't make it to the light. The guy's seeing me.
Yeah.
Because you never know.
Yeah. Yeah. John sold me a Rolex right before the show.
Right. You don't want to alienate a guy you may need down the road. Let's hope you never need him, but have him if you do.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
But you remember when I did that? He goes, why are you doing that? I said, trust me, it's going to work.
Absolutely.
A lot of guys are going to think twice about throwing me out of the store now, Richie.
Absolutely. So listen, I'm excited. Wednesday we go on the road. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
Yeah.
And, stay on here when the show's over, Grillo. I want to talk to you a minute. And
Absolutely.
we stay on and let's talk a minute, okay?
Absolutely.
Hey guys, have a great, great day. And remember something. Today is Happy Monday. And tomorrow is Happy Tuesday.
All right.
Okay.
And then comes Wonderful Wednesday.
Exactly. Then Wednesday's wonderful. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Nice.
All right.